Nothing breaks time like a paradox, and nothing breaks the Red vs. Blue fandom like a season finale. We are the Rooster Team. We are covering the Red vs. Blue Season 16 finale. We're going to talk about why you should never pull that last brick out for Jenga, what a time paradox looks like, and whether or not pizza is really worth it, all with a special guest. We'll see you after the opening.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
So because there's a time paradox, I'm gonna do things a little differently. And start at the end of the show.
I was gonna say, how so? Exactly.
No, I'm joking. It was an extended joke with musical interlude breaks. Hello everyone, welcome back. We are the Red vs. Blue after show on Rooster Teeth Reviews on AfterBuzz TV. We are looking at Red vs. Blue Season 16, Episode 15, the season finale, Paradox. And it is a heck of an episode. I have with me Megan Salinas.
Hey everybody.
Mark Donica.
I'm Mark B. Dabica.
He always dabs. I am Katie Cullen. I'm running this madhouse, and with us we have the writer and director of this season, Joe Nicolosi. Woo!
Am I on the thing? Is it on?
Yes, it's on.
Sweet. Sounds great.
How are you doing tonight?
How's it going, guys? I'm doing great. I had a really great day. Did a little writing. I went to the pool and went swimming. It was awesome. It was a great day.
Sounds like you're recovering from RTX then.
It's great. Every day is a recovery. Every day since the season end has been one step in this recovery that is now my life.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, of course. And for those of you who are coming to the show for the first time, unfamiliar, just want to pop in and say hi, have any questions for our guest. We do have the YouTube live chat. Throw your questions in there. We also have our hashtag, which is RTReviews on Twitter. We have various hosts looking at various social medias, so we will totally keep an eye out for things. Let's get this party started. What did we think of this episode?
This is exactly the sort of climax I wanted for a time travel oriented season.
Phrasing.
This is totally what I kind of thought the entire season was going to be like. So to have the climax just go from place to place and time to time in an extended action sequence was freaking phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. We got everything. We got everything in this episode. We got solid machinima. We got sweet non-machinima action. And we also got like classic Carolina action of the infiltration and silence, and a wonderful scene from Griff, who I'm absolutely been with these past couple of seasons, but refusing the call to pizza.
That is some character growth.
Oh
man.
my God. How dare. No. It shows what truly matters to him. And the one of my favorite moments was when he took the initiative and said, "Hold on, I've got something to take care of." And everybody else went, "Okay." But Simmons had the lingering look to him, and I was like, "What are you going to do to him?" As he stares straight at Joe on the other line at Skype.
I was reading comments. I didn't miss what you said.
No, that's fine.
So what were you looking to accomplish with the season finale? Did you make it there? And is there anything that you wish you could have added?
Oh, no. I mean, I think that everything I wanted to accomplish are all the stuff that you guys talked about. I wanted an ending that brought the whole season together. I wanted something that felt really tense, that built and built and built and built and had a really cool fight scene. And I wanted the whole thing to feel from the beginning that it was going bad, and then it just kind of gets worse, and it gets getting kind of like increasingly desperate, and so the tension gets built more and more over the episode. And we did a lot of things from the way we did the animation to the way we did the score to sort of make that as big and awesome as we could.
Yeah, I'm not at all surprised that we caused the paradox, given that we laid that out several times earlier on in the season. Like, well, what kind of timeline we're in depends on how we deal with paradoxes. Let me know how it goes if there's a me and a happen. Like, well, there's not going to be by the end of the season, is there?
I guess not.
Just a whole lot of shrug. We do
Yeah,
have...
it's nice. It's always nice when me as the director can stand in front of the camera and explain the rules of time travel to people. It's like not a lot of directors get to do that in their show, so I enjoyed that a lot.
So I have to ask, and feel free to just shrug at this. Did Jax survive the smiting?
I don't know. Let's see.
Best answer.
I came up with Jackson. It's a pretty shallow character. It's just like a film school idiot. And then I thought of a great sort of second thing for him to do when he's like the maniac director. Will Jax come back? Maybe. I don't know. No one's ever really dead unless you see them die. I think that I don't have a great reason for Jax to come back immediately. And if me or, whomever comes up with a great reason for Jax to come back, then he of course would. I personally, the way I've been thinking about Jax is that he gets hit in the head with a hammer and he loses all his movie ideas. And so when we see him again, I think he might be the guy who's just like grasping at straws all the time. Maybe.
Guy drunk at a bar at midnight going, what was, like looking at a bar napkin, like, what was this idea? I don't remember.
Maybe it's a movie about like a cup, and the cup really wants to be like a glass, but I don't know.
It's like movie-themed Memento.
Yeah.
He just starts tattooing all these movie plot twists all over his body.
But they're all terrible.
All these movie ideas are just Mad Libs games.
Yes. I mean, I'm down. I love it. Let's move into... I've got 4 topics on the board today, and 3 of them kind of occur concurrently because I love how this is set up. So let's talk about the first one. Let's talk about the reason we're all here. We're going to pull out one more Jenga block and try to save Wash. The only thing I could think of every time they were like, time travel's like Jenga, so we'll be really careful, is have none of you ever played Jenga.
It's terrifying.
The last block will always kill you.
Well, yeah, that's when the game's over.
Yeah. Lo and behold.
Yeah.
I think time travel is Jenga is a line that Matt improvised as well.
Really?
I don't think that was in the script. I think that was like one of those where you have Matt Hullum in the booth and he's recording his lines and he stops talking for like a minute and you're thinking, oh, the gears are turning, and then he puts the Sarge voice back on and says, time travel, Jenga? Well, yeah, I gotta keep that.
Can never fully remove himself from the property.
No, he's great. He's so good at coming up with like his brain translates everything into Sarge in a really awesome way. So he's exceptionally awesome at that.
I kind of want to hand him Shakespeare and be like, Sergeant, go.
Oh, God.
It's done.
Titus and Andronicus.
Again,
Macbeth.
if they have time travel next season, who knows? They could make it back to Shakespearean times.
I mean, we have no idea what's going to happen next season. We ended, there's no post-credits, and we're all sitting here going, okay.
Well,
You guys have no idea. I know.
Well, yeah, I mean, we at
Speak for
this
yourself.
table.
the royal we.
Royal we.
But I mean, there's an interesting indication of something, and I know we started elsewhere, but there's a very interesting indication at the end of this episode where we saw seemingly everything was the same, and we saw Tucker and Temple.
Jenkins.
Mm-hmm. What is it? What? Oh.
Joe was kind enough to confirm it in the
Okay.
interview I did with him at
Oh,
RTX.
yeah.
Great. I didn't edit that one. I'm so sorry.
No worries. Yeah, well, I
that's
think
right.
that
Yes.
I tried to leave clues, really the whole season, that Jenkins was pulling some strings kind of the whole time. And it was his prerogative on this season to make sure everything went bad and worse. And that is probably something that's going to continue.
For more information, make sure to watch the interview with Joe Nicolosi on this very channel.
So,
Idiot.
at the end of this season, underneath their helmets, everyone has butts for faces, right?
Yeah, probably.
That was your idea, and it's a great idea. And it's canon.
And there
Get
was...
going, Tumblr. Come on.
I'm sure Tumblr's already on it. There was a comment on the episode that Jenkins was also the PA that brought Wash to the scene of his own shooting, the recreation of him getting shot. Is that a very observant fan, or is that fan fiction?
Oh, that's absolutely no. That was yeah, that's absolutely true.
Oh, nice.
That is Jenkins in 10, doing what he can to make sure things go poorly for everybody. I will, I think that when I plotted out this season, I had the whole thing on a great big whiteboard, and every time Jenkins had his finger in the pie of their lives, I had a yellow Postit note that I would put in the place of the season. And a lot of it happens off screen, a lot of it happens on screen, and there are a lot of things he's doing that are completely below the surface. And I really like the idea of, we sort of reveal him to be the big villain in the last 2 episodes, but he's been doing stuff all along to make everything worse. And I thought it was kind of fun to write a story that way, where the villain is sort of like, I don't know, a guy folding into the background a lot of times.
So is that the voice actor then just doing a whole bunch of different accents throughout the entire season?
Yeah, well, I think the actor is American, so the Jenkins voice is his this like British accent. So he actually talks more like he does in the ending or in episode 10.
Nice. Would you be willing to tell us what a couple of those Post-it notes were, or is that a scavenger hunt for the viewers?
Oh, it can be a scavenger hunt. I mean, I'll talk about one more in episode 2. Kali says her first line when she sees everybody at the pizza place is the trickster spoke truth, basically inferring that he knew the Reds and Blues were going to be getting pizza on this date at this time and set her up to attack them so they'd run and get lost back in time.
Ooh.
So that's sort of like one of the examples of like, hey, he caused the entire story to happen but didn't really get credit for it kind of thing,
Nice.
Gonna have to go back and rewatch.
Yeah, I mean, DVD comes out, just
Yeah.
put it on as a movie and be like, yes, show me
Yeah.
everything. I have my notepad. Let's go.
Knowing Jenkins is pulling strings the entire time, that I definitely am going to be looking for that the next time I go through this season.
I mean,
I think in episode 6, when Tucker and Sister first meet Atlas, he's got his finger on the air horn, too. Trying to ruin Atlas's introduction.
I mean, that would be it. So there's just a little bit of justice in him losing his golf club to Caboose then.
Yeah, that golf club.
I hope that's what sets the universe right next season.
The golf club? If Caboose even still has it.
Well, Jenkins eating his own golf club.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. I mentioned this when we covered that episode, but yeah, no, getting hit in the face with a golf club does damage. I have witnessed it in real life, and it's ugly. So yeah.
What a life you lead.
I took golf lessons as a kid.
So you saw somebody get whopped in the face with it.
One student was a little too close to another student's backswing, and that 9-iron went, it was bad. It was bad. So a golf club is a legitimate weapon. Don't ever let anybody tell you otherwise. So yeah, we've been talking about Jenkins. Let's talk a little bit about this pizza confrontation he has with Griff. Because Griff is so sure that Jenkins is there to stall them out, but that's not the case at all.
Yeah, can I just say that maybe it's just my empty stomach talking right now, but I don't know how Griff was able to resist temptation in this moment. I'd be like, tell me your evil plan as I'm eating the pizza.
Yeah.
I ate that pizza. It was delicious.
Digital pizza.
Yeah, no, I just, again, with all of these stories being interwoven at the same time, finding out that no, them succeeding is going to be the paradox at the same time that we're watching them succeed in this plan is just, ugh. I don't have words for it. I'm just making noises
The Last
and flailing.
Temptation of Griff. Those are my last words for it.
Oh my god.
The Jenkins, his monologue when he's talking to Griff originally was much longer. It was longer in the script and longer in the first edit. And I'm really kind of bummed I had to take it down. I had to take it down because of pacing. You know what I mean? I wanted things to feel really fast, and this guy talking for a really long time, even though what he's saying is really cool, is ultimately going to kind of screw with the pacing of the whole episode. But the whole monologue that he had was a really long monologue where he's basically just like breaking up with the universe. So he's constantly saying stuff like, it's not you, it's the universe. I've just lost the spark. I think it's time we see other universes. And like all these breakup cliches. And he did such a good job in the performance. So maybe it needs to be its own separate little audio piece or something, because it was such a great performance and such a funny line for so long. It just had to be like the exact length it is, because the whole episode's cut to music. So I couldn't let something go on multiple measures like that.
Can we get that on the blooper reel? Because I need it in my life.
Yeah, that sounds excellent. What I like thinking about in this moment is where exactly Griff is at on the hero's journey that he tried so desperately this season to completely avoid.
Yeah, well, that's a great question. I think that he, I pay less attention to like a Christopher Vogel like hero's journey or Hero with a Thousand Faces hero journey, and I think much more about like the Dan Harmon story circle when I'm thinking about characters and their journeys. And I certainly think that like Griff's Pizza Quest sort of began and started him along this track. And he certainly hasn't finished it completely, but he's certainly learned something and taken something new into season 16,
Yeah.
I don't think I gave a good answer for that.
No.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
I do want to know, you mentioned that the monologue was initially much longer. In that original cut of the monologue, did Jenkins drop the fact that he had murdered Huggins?
No, that's a great, that's actually one of the things that Jason, my co-writer, brought up in talking about the season. Talking about this last episode, how is Jenkins going to taunt Griff with this information? And it didn't really seem to be in Jenkins. It's not going to help him to do that. You know what I mean? Like, sort of like Griff thinks he's keeping Jenkins occupied. If Griff tries to shoot Jenkins, Griff's going to realize he can't shoot Jenkins, that he's, invulnerable to this weapon, and Griff might try to run back to his friends and tell them or try something else. You know what I mean? Like, it's not in Jenkins' favor to release that information, especially not just as like a taunt. He's got no reason to make Griff angry in that moment, He's just basically got to like stay there and keep him talking.
So we're setting all that information until we need to make Griff angry.
Aww. My heart.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a plan. Yeah. Oh, speaking of getting angry, let's shift gears. Let's talk a little bit about Donut. Let's talk about this incredible set piece fight.
I mean, we talked a little bit about it at RTX, but like I was just so we did this on our panel. Yeah. I was so happy to see two characters that for so long had been pushed off to the sideline actually being the focal point for what is essentially the climax of the season.
Mm-hmm. And literally get a spotlight shown upon them. I'm really happy that a capacity crowd at Madison Square Garden was really into two armored dudes wrestling. Like, I don't know what event they went into, but I'm pretty sure Bruno Sammartino was like, "Hey, these guys are stealing my spotlight," because he's very Italian. But I was a very, very big fan of that particular sequence, being a wrestling fan, and I almost started commentating for some reason. But
I actually have a friend who works at WWE, and I'm like, oh man, maybe I should try to get like Junior or somebody to do the announcing in the background. But that's probably a bridge too far.
Yeah, possibly, because I think a lot of it would be, what the hell is going on? But very apropos that Doc immediately finds a chair. Like it's weird that we go to these amazing set pieces that we've never seen the Spartan armor ever appear on, and I guess it shows what I'm into by going, no, not in the middle of an air raid in airplanes, which is technically a marvelous sequence, but just put them in a box with a couple of trusses of lighting and red, white, and blue ropes, and you got me for an hour.
That's the extended cut that you want, is the full-on wrestling, getting the crowd going, tag teaming with yourself every time.
Yeah.
I'd like to watch their intros. I'd like to see what Donut would pick for his intro music. Probably it's Raining Men. Probably he plays It's Raining Men as he falls into the ring. Yeah.
He cascades down on some sort of
a silk.
Yes, on a silk.
Yes!
He does an aerial silk maneuver and then just lands in the ring. Oh god.
I don't know anything about wrestling. I really had to fake it.
Oh, no, you faked it really well. It was super solid.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, my friend dragged me to one wrestling match last year, NXW, the one that's near WrestleMania.
Yeah, NXT takeover.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I know enough to do one fight scene.
There's a chair involved. We're
That's fair.
good.
Yeah.
Admittedly, that's more than I know about wrestling, so you're good. What I really appreciated about this was the grenade. Thinking way ahead with the grenade, the bit with I have a great throwing arm, I never miss. Thinking with portals.
I never miss.
I really appreciated the forward thinking for that.
Cool. Yeah, I like that bit.
What was your favorite bit of this fight?
For me, the air raid, the belly of the B-17G flying over probably, I guess, Germany. That sequence is really awesome. It was animated by this guy Vito, who works in our animation department. He did a killer job. It looks gorgeous. And the compositing, like the lighting effects and the explosions and the clouds and all that stuff, it's just like, that's the sequence I look at and I'm like, that's on my reel.
It was unbelievably beautiful.
That one's definitely my favorite too. Oh, so good.
And Mark, I assume
Yeah, and
yours was the
it
wrestling.
was Carrie's idea to turn the last shot in that sequence into one shot. Originally, it was boarded out as 2 or 3 shots. You know, when they're running down the plane wing, and then the camera spins around, and they get launched up into the air, and then you look up and they fall towards the camera. That was originally a few different shots, and he's like, "You should do it as one shot." And I'm like, "Okay, that's a good idea." I guess you could just do that, you know. I'm a live action director mainly, so I don't think like, oh, I'm just gonna make it all one shot. That's not something you can just do all the time.
Because one continuous shot in live action is an ordeal.
Yeah, let's take
Yeah,
the
especially
entire.
on an airplane. And...
Yeah, let's take the camera crew, rig them up with parachutes and various diving equipment. Yeah, let's get this in one, everybody.
That absolutely sounds like something Jax would say.
That is a Jax maneuver.
My God, the lines are blurring.
Oh, they're very blurry.
But yeah, and just starting it off with the realization that Krovos used him, and despite the fact that his friends are all assholes, they're still his friends.
Yeah, I mean that like we this entire season, or you could argue the entire series up until this point.
Can be summarized in 2 words. Shut up, donut.
That's 3.
I mean, depending on what school of thought.
Shut up can be
Shut
one
up.
word. But yeah, just it's very sweet that despite how or abusive or like definitely an abusive relationship depending on how you look at it, but it's very sweet that in this moment Donut has enough self-respect to go, no, you're using me, this is wrong, and I'm gonna do the right thing.
Because at least the Reds and Blues are honest about what they think of him.
And Krovos is doing it much worse. Comparatively, like he said, I'm your pet. I'm just your shizno. And I think, like you said, I agree that he has enough self-respect, but I think ultimately, up until that point, there were some things where it's like, oh, that doesn't sound like Donut. Like he's clearly being manipulated, and
Yeah.
he's come full circle and been able to be, no, let's have, come on, O'Malley, let's have this fight. Never thought that would happen. In the best possible way.
I mean, you can still
Yeah.
be Fabulous Jesus and kick some ass.
Yeah.
I also wanted, I wanted people to really cheer for Donut in that fight, so I gave him a lot of like hero shots. I gave him a lot of like cool poses with the camera slowly moving in, because I'm like, he's been around for 16 years. He really deserves like a moment in the spotlight.
The only thing that breaks my heart about it is that none of his friends get to see him during all these big damn hero moments.
Helmet cam footage. It's a thing.
But it's one of those things that we've seen with Donut in the past where he's like, I've been off doing this, and then and they
Yes!
come back and they're like, no, I don't believe you. Not at all.
And that's the funny thing is if everything turns out all right somehow next season when he rejoins them, that's exactly what the reaction
Guys,
is
this
going to
amazing
be.
fight. Shut up, Donut.
I swear, Donut just needs to hook up his helmet to a projector, have a home movie night, and be like, no, I was a giant badass. This is my helmet cam footage.
Well,
Go.
technically, because of the paradox, none of that really happened. So sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Donut.
Keep talking. I'm taking notes. I got a lot of pages to write.
I mean, last time you said you were taking notes, the icy hotline didn't wind up anywhere, so I'm not sure I believe you.
Did it?
Andrew Evers in
God
chat
bless.
says you need an AI to run a helmet cam.
I find that hard to believe. I feel like that's an automated
Science.
You can go get a GoPro literally anywhere in time.
I feel like you need an AI to run a helmet cam if you want that extra stabilization in the footage.
Mike, the artista, asked, but was Donut even involved in the paradox because he wasn't present in the reality when it happened?
And neither were in
Ooh.
Wash and Carolina were removed from the fantasy blood gulch that we have going now.
Or at least they weren't
Yeah,
there.
that's gonna be one of those. You guys are just gonna have to tune in, kind of thing.
Oh, no.
Oh no, we're not expecting answers.
No, that was a question to the table, not, because...
Oh,
That's-
great. Okay, cool. You guys go ahead.
No,
Yeah, that's
no spoilers
predictions.
here.
That's predictions territory. We're
Okay.
gonna save that for the end
Right.
of this show.
Cam and Random Chick both say that Epsilon was running Tucker's cam back in the day.
Yeah, but Jax didn't need an AI to run just our regular old camera.
Yeah.
Sure, fair. Right.
I mean, he might have needed one to remind him to turn it on at the salient moments, but
It's like a Phantom. You turn it on after, or you use it after you get the thing that you need, and then it records it.
Yeah.
But
Science.
before we switch gears, no, I hate to use that pun.
Oh,
but
that
I did.
was good.
Wow.
I did want to talk a little bit about Krovos's design because, like, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like that in Red versus Blue, and having just the gears. It makes so much sense just from an aesthetic standpoint that a time-esque god, if that's what he is, would look kind of like that. So.
But is he the gears, or are the gears the treadmill that he's stuck on? Because that's kind of what I interpreted that as once we got that backstory, because he's been stuck on a treadmill for millennia, and we never actually see him. We just get a very specific angle.
Like under the platform, you see a dude just jogging with like
Yeah.
tiny 70s shorts, like Rocky.
It's the QWOP model.
Oh, quap.
Oh, quap.
So yeah.
So yeah, is Krovos the gears, or is it the treadmill?
Oh, you're talking to me. This is one of those things. I'm gonna be like, I can't talk about Krovos' true form.
No, we can't talk about it.
Nope, okay.
Yeah, that's gonna be a reveal, I think.
Okay.
I think that's that. He's not the gears. He's definitely not made of gears. The gears are part of the prison. Yeah, let's just start there. Let's
Wait.
just stop there.
Okay.
Treadmill. Treadmill.
Gears. We're talking about Microsoft franchises. Is Krovos Marcus Phoenix?
It is.
Donut, get out of here! I can't do it.
I will laugh if he is a machinima effect, not gonna lie.
I mean, that's
If he's just
have
like
you seen this show?
hilarious season 3, beard photoshopped on armor, yeah.
And what's up, dude?
He was Vic the
Pretty
whole
good
time.
Vic.
I mean, the show's been on for 16 years. I've been able to listen to it a couple of times.
Okay, I think before we hit our final point, we should talk a little bit about some other shows.
Yes, that's right. AfterBuzzers, our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows, from dramas, reality TV. Hi, I can read. This is copy.
Reality and TV.
Use Take Two, sci-fi, and more. There is no network that works harder to serve television fans, but we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channels, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about pesky notifications, don't be, because they are optional. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel, and check out our other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did so in the comments, and we will thank you on air. But for now, thanks for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV talk. Use Take Two.
Yeah. For Andrew Evers asking where Vic is, he's
Oh yeah, Vic's dead.
He's
Died.
gone.
Vic's totally
Like we
dead.
covered that last season. He is kaput.
He wanted to
He's
die
outie.
so much.
He is outie. He is
Please
done.
kill me.
Please kill me, dude.
Yep. I have no good segue for this. Let's talk about Wash.
Oh.
There's just Yeah, we're talking about death.
I ran
That's always a
into
segue.
Shannon McCormick today at the grocery store immediately before I came on this show, and he was in the next lane over from me. He just looked so mad. And I kept being like, Adrian Washington. And he'd like look around. Like, Adrian Washington. And he'd like, look around and he's just really mad. And then finally I just stared at him until he made eye contact with me. And he's like, hey, Joe. He came over and started talking to me. It was quite fun.
Terrifying.
Okay. Oh, God bless. Yeah,
He's
so
fun.
we put this nice little plan in action to save him, and I think the bit that hit me, that did not hit me the first time or two watching this, is they hit a snag, there's video footage. Is that Locust watching the cameras? Because that looked a lot like Locust watching the cameras.
That's another. I wanted it to be a silhouette because I didn't want you to know. I just wanted people to think it's bad, but it's definitely Jenkins. He's got like a armor that goes up like this because it's the Achilles
Okay.
armor.
Okay. All right, well, that makes a lot more sense.
I'm also just talking about Locust. I'm picturing him in the climax of his hero's journey for whatever mission he's on, right when the universe gets reset.
It was so close.
He's saving a bunch of starving orphans or something, and then boop, just out.
Well, maybe the paradox will fix that colony that the Blues and Reds murdered.
Ooh, probably not.
Such optimism! Wow!
Have you learned nothing about trying to fix things through time travel?
Yes, but this wasn't intentional. This was just a side effect. I do love that this big conflict winds up being use what you've learned, and it's been all the running jokes from this season put into effect.
Yeah. Just that little bit with Simmons doing the time travel pep talk was so cute, too.
Yeah, the ping back. It's like, hold on, I've got to do something or else everything. Like,
I got to make a call.
Him not doing that is what caused the paradox. Not,
Yes.
Not that. Not specifically that.
Someone asked me the other day if the you guys are gonna do great is a reference to the Adventure Zone podcast, and the answer is yes.
Aww.
I was definitely like, I listened to the whole thing over the course of like 3 weeks in the middle of making the season, and I think it just got stuck in my head, and like I couldn't, because I did a lot of the compositing this season myself, so I had to listen to things to keep myself from getting like crazy bored. So I would listen to Adventure Zone while doing Cyclops green screen stuff. And anyway, I love it. Wanted to give it a shout out in the show.
Speaking of the Cyclops, have you gotten any fun green screen footage from the RTX stream, the behind the scenes stuff?
I don't think we haven't put the green screen thing online yet, which I think we should definitely just like put all the raw footage out there, all like 500 gigs.
Oh god.
People can just go nuts. Because there's Gus in the green screen, and there's also me going,
And just see what the internet does with that chroma key style.
Terrifying.
Let us know when you release that, because I will just be sitting there chin-handsing at the fandom like, all right, show me what you got.
Wait for
You're
it.
gonna be amazing.
I gotcha.
For this, though, and Cam Griffin brought this up at the beginning of the show, and this is definitely what I thought was going to happen. I thought they were going to have to shoot wash themselves to avoid the paradox. Like, I thought that was what was coming down the line.
Jesus Christ.
What I thought was that's sort of what I thought was going to happen given the explanation of time travel as Jax presented it earlier in the series. I figured that by going back in time, they ultimately caused Wash to get shot in the neck.
Yeah, that's what I thought, but not directly like, well, I gotta take care of this loose
The only
end.
way to save the universe is to shoot my friend in the throat would be
Carolina's
so
like,
dark.
no, I'll do it.
Oh no!
I mean, tell me that wasn't a possibility.
My poor babies.
Yeah, that would be something horrible for someone to have to do, and a very difficult shot. So yeah,
Gotta get the angle just right.
That's the most important thing.
Just have Caboose
Perfect
make
shot.
it. He'll make it on accident.
It would be exceedingly difficult because Wash is just stumbling around. You know, it would be hard to predict exactly where he was going.
Caboose
Locust
could
could make that shot.
Yeah.
do it. Oy vey. We've entered a darkened place.
I mean, you say this like I don't pull up the worst case scenario for Wash like all the time.
You need a new hobby.
This is what I do with my favorite characters. How have you not learned that? Have you known me for how
room.
many years?
Yeah. Fair.
But it's such a well put together sequence because simultaneously you have Donut bringing the hammer down, Griff running in slow motion for his sort of big hero-esque moment, and then boom, that's when the paradox happens.
Mm-hmm.
And we're running out of time, so let's talk about that paradox a little bit.
Can I bring up one quick little thing?
How dare you?
As
Yes.
everything is fading away and like no one knows what's about to happen, Sarge made a line that like touched my heart a little bit.
Same. It's been an honor. Just like, nope, I'm done. Leave me here to die.
Sarge has never been heartless.
Well,
you
no.
know, it's always tends to be in real dire situations where you're like, all right, no, this is the person that I really am. Yeah.
Okay, whatever. I'll just say it. The full line. That Sarge says-
Boy, here we go.
The full line is, "It's been an honor for you to serve with me, I'm sure. You guys suck."
Like I said, it's in these dire moments when we find out exactly who Sarge is. Son of a bitch.
Wow. All right. We have a winner.
Damn, Joe!
That might be the one piece from next season that got revealed. We'll see.
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
AfterBuzz TV.
Oh man.
My
So we
heart.
have, in much the same way that we've broken all our hearts, we've also broken the hell out of time.
Yep.
Jenkins is pretending to be Church because even in a weird fantasy alternate timeline, we're still not bringing Church back, which good. Let him rest. And we talked about this a little bit in the RTX interview. It's the first 3 scenes of Red versus Blue reversed, and all of them are just a little off. It's unsettling.
It's definitely weird, especially because as the seasons have gone on, viewers and fans of the show have been programmed to memorize, hey, yeah, you ever wonder why we're here? And know that whole thing. So hearing it differently was just a glitch in the Matrix sort of a moment. But on top of that, like we were talking, like this is just pure speculation, and Joe, you can definitely not comment about this. But I wonder how the paradox and Jenkins' idea of what his world would want to be, sans face butts and butt faces. If I just have a dream scenario now because we're all the way back in the past. If we have a compressed war world-esque scenario where it's a best of from every single season, and the people who we thought were dead weren't dead, but they're alive and they're around, and it's just a retelling of season 1, but instead of York or season whatever, whatever season
Bless.
York was, and it's
4.5,
Felix,
kind of.
You know, like how do different characters change that scenario? Probably not happening. That's why I said dream scenario.
In this scenario that you've presented, Mark, the Meta and Felix and Locust could all be in the same scene together.
Yeah.
Role swaps.
Could, but that's probably not, but that'd be fun.
Oh, see, and I'm back into the worst case scenario thing. You say this like I've never discussed this. I've had 5 separate people ask me this question, like, what's the worst case scenario? No, it's Wash joining up with the Mercs. It's never getting an act of mercy from the Reds and Blues at the end of season 8, working for Hargrove, and out of desperation, going with them to the chorus mission and being on the wrong side.
So then they have to kill
You
him
say this like
anyway.
I've never thought about it.
Katie, I hope you have your cash register ready because I'm about to give you money for that ticket to that show. I need to.
It's called the internet. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's come up with that idea. I'm sure.
But
Hi, Tumblr.
Yeah, I mean, no. Hey, everyone. Hi, Dreamwidth. Hi.
if we're in the middle of like theorizing, who's to say that this isn't just like a pocket dimension that Jenkins has created for the purpose of torturing the Reds and the Blues?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely down. I think we're into predictions at
We're-
this point. We're well into predictions.
But we're also very close to being out of time.
Yeah, no, I'm sure this is like a pocket dimension. This little bit of the universe is like this to keep this particular cast of characters complacent. Everything else is just completely fubbernucked.
Yeah, I'm excited to see if Vic comes back. or if some if in this dream scenario, if somebody else takes Vic's place. And who is that person?
Gamma.
Or Captain Flowers.
Oh my god.
Like anybody.
We're just trundling down this roll
especially
swap
because-
AU and having a blast, aren't we?
That's because with Jenkins taking Church's place, who's to say that didn't set a precedent for anything else?
I love the idea of bringing Gamma back because Gamma was the only other AI with time manipulative capabilities. So
yeah.
I like that idea. But yeah, we should probably.
We should. I mean, predictions for this upcoming season are so wild because this is the first time in a long time that we've been left with a blank slate like this. It's going to be fun. I can't wait to see what the internet comes up with. But yeah, Joe, is there anything else you'd like to say about this season? Anything we didn't touch on?
No, I think you guys covered it. I mean, I could talk about a lot of other things, but it sounds like you're kind of running out on time. I had a blast writing and directing this season. Coming away from 15, I tried to take a lot of lessons in terms of like how I write episodes and characters and how many jokes I write and how I use action. And I put all those lessons into effect this time, and I come up with something that at least I fucking love, and I hope that a lot of other people love it too.
It's been a heck of a ride. This was a great finale. All right. Are there any other projects that you're working on that you can tell us about?
No. Well, yes. Yes, I'm working on a lot of other projects. Many. No, I can't really talk about them yet. Probably not anytime soon.
It is NDA o'clock.
It's not Red versus Blue related, but I just wanted to say I absolutely adored your episode of Camp that you worked on.
Hey, thanks. Yeah. I loved working on a show with characters that aren't wearing helmets. That was a lot of fun to do that.
They can emote.
Like facial expressions are a thing.
Yeah.
And where can the people go if they would like to follow you on the internets?
Oh, I have a Twitter account that you're going to put up on the screen.
Nailed it.
I'm sure there's a lower third in there somewhere.
What is it? That's my Twitter. Oh, I could hold it up to the screen. No, I can't. It's Depone Shop is my Twitter account. TEHPWNSHOP. That's really the best place to follow me and my occasional jokes.
Do the thing, win the stuff. Thanks again for joining us tonight.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
And Mark, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Donica. Make sure you tune in to all of our stuff here. There are a few more videos from RTX that we haven't been able to post. One in particular, I actually have to send to an editor to fix the sound on. But we're expecting that to be something interesting because it's the interview that I had with Lee Eddy.
Yep.
Oh boy. So and then also make sure to follow us next week. We're going to be talking about Camp, and we're figuring out a day to do a RTX wrap-up episode and talk about some of our favorite experiences. But make sure if you missed all of our stuff, follow our group account at The Rooster Team on Twitter. That's The Rooster Team. That's also tpublic.com/The Rooster Team. And if you're on Twitch, go to twitch.tv/artificialnext. It is a series. I am working on a sci-fi series that is interactive. You can help a robot become human. If that sounds interesting and weird.
And better than Detroit.
It is.
And for those of you guys who are fans of the Rooster Team's audio drama, that's the offshoot of Ruby. Episode 3 of Welcome to Vale went up last week.
Last week, go check it out on its new SoundCloud home. We got pinged on YouTube, even though I got permission from the band that provided us the weather. So I'm still working through that. But if you want to hear the episode right now, it's on SoundCloud. Just go to SoundCloud, look up Welcome to Vale, and you'll be able to find it.
Are we going to put up that live episode at some point?
We need to see if we can pull it off of Mixer. We'll figure that out.
Stay tuned. And I'm Megan Salinas. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at The Menguin. That's TheMenguin. Be sure to also take a look at my Lost retrospective podcast, No Love Lost.
And I'm Katie Cullen. You can follow me all over the social medias as well as on YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. If you like reaction videos, that YouTube channel is where these reaction videos live. I also did some fun interviews on the animation channel. You should totally check it out. The RTX coverage was super fun.
It's hot.
Thanks for joining us for this season, you guys. It's been a blast, and we will see you next time.
Save wash.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Deja vu's contagious.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.